Hello, my name is Alberto Flores. I am an employee of Permobile. We make wheelchairs and wheelchair cushions for those who are unable to move or limited to movement. Um, there are many conditions that cause people to be unable to move or be limited to it. They can be from ALS. It can be to physical conditions that happen in accidents that leave them paralyzed from the waist down or from the neck down. And other cases could be where they were born with a genetic disorder that leaves them in a wheelchair. And the company I work for believes that nobody should be bounded just to one spot away from society. Um, so in Milwaukee, they are investing to a separate company that is making a wheelchair accessible um, playground for everyone to be able to have fun and enjoy life. Um, but every day I go to work and I am expected to make a custom cushion for a wheelchair. And I'm going to show a brief um, look on what a custom cushion would look like. Um, it is pretty easy to follow, yet there's a lot of components that comes with it because not everybody is the same. So different people need different things. Some need gel packs. Other people need um, uh, components that are better for them to be able to sit in that one spot. Other people need portions of the cushion to be taken off because they don't have that leg anymore. Um, there's a million ways to make these cushions. So I'm going to be showing step by step on how to make a custom cushion in a brief overview. So this will be a good representation of what it would look like for almost every cushion. Um, so we start off with having our materials with us. Um, First, we would need, again, this is going to be all representation. This pencil is going to represent um, my turkey knife that we would use. I know a turkey knife sounds silly, but because they are two serrated blades, they constantly move back and forth, which makes it easier for it to saw through the the fabric that is well that they prefer. There's different fabrics as well. There are fabrics that are really tough. There are fabrics that are really soft. There could be, if it's much denser, usually it's because they need something that's a better foundation. But for those who need softer materials, it's because their skin can be sensitive or pressure ulcers are more susceptible to them. So, with that being said, we're going to start off with our low layer, which is going to be my notebook. The low layer is going to be a fabric that I would be taking from a shelf that we have, and we would usually be putting a rectangular shape by drawing it and then cutting it. Well, most of it, or not through the outline itself. If I were to make this outline here, I would cut around here so I don't use too. Oh, sorry. That way I don't use too much of the fabric, so I can use more for later. So once I cut my low layer to the size that I want it to be, so we'll just assume that this is 15 by 18. So I have my 15 wide 18 rectangle, and then once I have that set, usually once I have my fabric that's traced out, I will take it to a bandsaw, and the bandsaw will cut it each of the rectangle parts out of the fabric. That way it is the perfect size. That is my foundation. The low layer is usually thicker or denser material because it is the foundation for the person to sit on. They usually won't feel it. However, the low layer will also get these things called adductors. Adductors are for the sides of the cushions that, or the side of the cushion where it's going to be flushed on both sides. So I'm going to attach both the adductors right here. So then our 15 by 18 will have these two adductors that help the person stay in the seat without sliding off on both sides. Some people will prefer not having these on because they prefer the freedom to move. But in most cases, most people prefer to have them attached. So our adductors keep our patients in one place. And then we also have something called an abductor. This is a poor representation of it, but it's close enough. It's usually a roundish triangular form that usually goes on like this. So usually it would be the legs would come down through here, right? So the abductor is a separation for the legs to be able to separate without having them too close together. If they're too close together, it can be pretty uncomfortable depending on the person. But the abductor can help with separation, especially with those who can't separate their legs even if they wanted to. So this kind of gives a little bit of an extra force to it. So we have our low layer, our adductors and abductors. The adductor and abductors are add-ons to help the patient for whatever they need. We will also have a middle layer. The middle layer will be put right on top of the low layer and the adductors. Again, I'm sorry, it is a brief summary or overview of what it would look like, but usually it would be pressed down and there would be no air bubbles onto it. I've already pre-cut a gel well into this, so you have a good view on what the layer's purpose. This layer's purpose will be used for gels or what's called sunmates. Sunmates are close to gels, but they're cut into the back of the cushion, and then they're replaced by a different texture. That way it's softer, and it's usually softer. But we're going to stick with the gel well that we've already cut right now. So, but we have our middle layer already set, and then I would use my little turkey knife, and then I would cut the portion that I want out, making the gel well fit inside. There are two different sizes or two different shapes of gels. So usually I have my little gel pack here. I would have my gel pack right on here and then trace it, and then I would cut it with my turkey knife. Then once I have my turkey knife or my gel well set, I will use my gel pack and set it right in here by gluing it. I forgot to mention this earlier, but when we are putting these together, we use what's called Sim Alpha. Sim Alpha glue is a water-type glue that is relatively safe to use, but respirators are definitely recommended by OSHA and anybody else. But once we got our gel pack glued into the gel well with our mid layer, we will move on to getting our top layer. Our top layer will be bigger than the cushion itself. So when we set the cushion down, just like that, right, we would waterfall it. So it'd go in front. So it adds extra length to it. So assuming that the top layer is 1 inch thick, the 15 wide, 18-inch rectangle will now become 15 wide, 19 inches depth. That's why we have to focus on if the cushion fits for the customer. And then from there, we would flip our cushion, and then we would cut here, from the bottom of the cushion right here, we would cut this to match the bottom here. So I'm going to fold it because I don't exactly have the right material for it right now, or the right knife. So it would look more like this. So then I would take it to a bandsaw, and then I would cut it on the sides, riding the low layer, so that way I take any excess mid layer and top layer stuff off of it. So that way it can look like a really nice cushion for the person who sits on it. So once everything's glued down and set to go, we would write down the size that it is, the order number that's coming from, and the date that it's due. So that way the person that sits on it, or at least the people that have to attach it to the wheelchair, they can be able to understand that it is due, real soon. It needs to be sent out right away. So they will work on that before working on something that is due with it later in the month. So, yeah. So this is a brief look on what a custom cushion would look like. I hope this was very informative, and I thank you for listening all the way through. Bye-bye.